Talking with Michael Bontempo. Michael, how are you this afternoon?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm fine, and you're with Creo Studio, the art of technology.
Yes, sir. Creo actually means creative in Latin, which is the soul fire of what we try to accomplish with Creo Studio.
So what is Creo Studio, or Creo Studio?
Creo Studio is a creative arts program that we have developed around Sketchbook Pro.
Okay. Sketchbook Pro, for those that don't know it, is an iPad app. Okay. So what does that mean? We've made this creative content around Sketchbook Pro.
What it means is that we were looking at all the different art apps available on either an iPad or any tablet, really, and we thought Sketchbook Pro had the most potential, had the most tools to it, had the most color choices, a lot of potential there. And if you go online, you can see what people have done with Sketchbook Pro, and it's really quite fantastic.
And so this is a curriculum for what grade levels?
Any
grade level.
Yeah.
An art curriculum. And so, what is it? Tell me, what did they get? Okay, they get Sketchbook Pro, and then what?
We try to through our video lessons, we try to cultivate what we call creative courage in our students, which means that instead of teaching you how to make art, we teach you why you make art. And so, even though all these lessons are going to be done by different students, all their artwork is going to be different because we are all different. And a lot of the inspiration for these artworks comes from your own memories, your own personalities, your own opinions, and it's your way of telling your story. And we integrate that into the art making. You don't just make the art and then walk away from it. You talk about what it means to you. Why did you do this? Why didn't you do this?
So it's more than just creating the content. It's actually creating and then explaining it.
Absolutely. Okay. And by doing that, you can learn more about yourself. You can learn more about your world. When you share this with everyone, you can learn more about their ideas, and you just learn more about the world in general. And we believe that if you can be a creative designer of a piece of art, you can be a creative designer of your own life.
Well, that's very interesting. I've actually always been interested in the idea of taking an entire art course and putting it onto an iPad. I thought that when I first saw the iPad, I thought that's probably something we could do. So what do they get? If a school district or somebody subscribes to this program, what do they get?
Well, if you sign the license agreement, let's say for one student, you're paying for one seat, which means that if that student drops out, another student can move in.
Okay.
So when you purchase that seat, you get the online delivery of the 10 video lessons, or if you want the semester series, you get the 22 lessons. And that also includes 4 extra tutorials, which are good for any student who has never even touched a tablet or touched an iPad. We show you how to turn the thing on from start to finish.
Okay, so what's a typical lesson look like? What is it? Like in a lesson, what does that mean?
Let's see. Typical lesson, you're looking at about a 13...
That looks like, by the way, that looks like something I would have done right there.
Right there?
Yeah, that's pretty much my capabilities right there. So.
Well, actually, let's talk about this right now, because I've incorporated 4 open studio lessons into the semester series.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say you've done the first 2 lessons, the Cubism self-portrait and the abstract Cubism. Now you want to explore a little bit more. Well, then what you're going to do today for your Creo course is you're just going to play around with all these different brush options, you're going to play around with all these different radius tools, and you're just going to really dive in and just start creating unequivocally, which means that no one's judging you, no one's expecting you to turn in anything.
That's what I need.
That's what you need. That's what
I need.
Don't we all need something like that, you know? Don't need someone telling you what to do. You're just free and creative. And what's cool about, even with younger ages, is that you're giving this balance of freedom and responsibility by giving these kids an expensive piece of equipment, but you're also telling them, like, go crazy, you know? Do whatever you want. Draw this, draw that.
So what do you say to art teachers that say, well, you know, you gotta experience the art, you gotta get your hands dirty, you gotta use the, you know, it seems like we're completely eliminating that by using iPads. So.
I think it's just a way of thinking. Artist David Hockney, who's a very famous painter. If you look him up, I think he's from England, but he is an American artist, and he's got a lot of popular paintings, and he really embraced this whole iPad art movement. Especially with Sketchbook Pro. That's kind of how we heard about Sketchbook Pro, was just learning about him. But he said in an interview that when he was done making art on the iPad, he actually wiped his hands on his shirt out of instinct. So we are getting our hands dirty. You know, we're getting our brains dirty.
Right.
You know, that's where it's coming from. You know, and the mess we make does not necessarily have to equate, you know, to this.
And I'm thinking also is that with something like Sketchbook Pro, you can carry a whole lot more equipment around in a very small
That's the other reason. We really want to, and you can see how it's, we're connecting students with creativity. But another big thing about Creo is we want you to be able to take your studio or take your gallery with you no matter where you go. And that's really important when you think about 21st century learning and project-based learning for late middle school and early high school kids, where they're actually starting a portfolio by doing this.
So once I've created something on Sketchbook using the lessons, what happens to the artwork? Where does that go?
You post the artwork however you wish. I've encouraged students to put it on Facebook, to put on their Twitter account, stuff like that. But we also are developing an online gallery, and I've been talking to tac.com to be maybe the place to be housing the Creo gallery. So we want to have a Creo gallery where all the students, they post their artwork there. For the time being right now, the schools that we've worked with so far, they just have a Dropbox folder.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's how the students store it. But however, you're not just taking your artwork and plugging it into that folder. That's not what you're just doing. You have to have an artist statement and a reflection based off of each artwork.
Can you show me one of the lessons real quick? Just you were showing me earlier and had some video involved. Like this one here is modern cubism.
Yeah, so this is the tools tutorial,
right.
And this is my voiceover right here, and my hands working there.
Okay.
So I'm basically showing you how you can use these straight lines and these squares and these circles. This is not the project demo. This is just the tool demo.
Right.
And so as we move on through the video, if like you've already watched your tool demo, you've already got it. You know what I mean? Then you get into the project demonstration.
I see.
Where we actually have someone performing the task, and it's in real time. So my voiceover is explaining what they're doing.
And so there's what comes with the videos? We get just videos, or are there lesson plans, or?
It's just videos. I mean, we have a paper syllabus, but we want everything to be in the iPad. We really don't want the students carrying around a bunch of papers and stuff,
right.
Unless it's a sketchbook.
That's an awesome looking tool. I really like it. So if someone's interested in Creo Studio, the art of technology, who do they contact?
They can contact me.
And you are Michael Bontempo?
Michael Bontempo.
Wait a sec, let me zoom in there.
Uh-huh.
And focus. There we go. Michael Bontempo. Bontempo.7 at osu.edu.
Yes, sir. And I was on the creative design team for Creo, so I have tons of information that I would love to share with anyone. And it's really exciting. We've got about 5 schools that have done it so far, and got a lot of success stories, and I'd be more than willing to share that with anyone who's interested.
That's great. And so, again, grade levels that this is targeted toward?
Honestly, when we first started building it, we were thinking more middle school and high school, but I've seen success with kids as young as 4 years old doing this. Because if you've ever seen a 4-year-old playing Minecraft,
yeah, they can do it.
They can do it. So,
you aged a whole lot.
That's Paul Hamilton.
I was about to say.
Yeah, he's the creative director that I worked with, and he's mostly the talking head. But you can see right here, these are the questions.
For a minute there, I thought you had Richard Dreyfuss.
But you can see here, these are the reflective questions that we ask. How did you decide which ones to use? Did you create it in any recognizable shapes or designs? Why are they recognizable? Does your art have a story?
Right.
Those are the kind of question, and that's the assessment piece. It's portfolio-based assessment.
Okay, Michael, thanks for talking to us this morning. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, anytime. Thank you.